So anyways, at around 4 is your last call for the poem cards. We've gotten a lot of them in and a lot of great ideas, so I think we're going to have a really fun poem at the end. And Charlotte, what time does the silent auction close at?
The silent auction closes at 4:50.
So 4:50, so right before we finish. And so we'll close it, and you can check to see whether you won or not, and then pay up. So let's get started for our last few sessions here. We have From the Ground Up, How Grassroots Growth is Transforming Our Community, with Jamie Lone, Whittier Parks and Rec, which a lot's going on with Whittier Parks and Rec. Let me tell you, it's exciting.
Thank you guys so much, and thank you for allowing Whittier Parks and Rec to be part of the symposium this year. We're really excited about a lot of the things that are happening in our community, and really this PowerPoint isn't going to have like a ton of facts and numbers or anything. It's just kind of an overview of some of the things that we've been working on, especially the last like 3 or 4 years. And maybe it'll give you guys some ideas of some things that you can implement in your community, or maybe you guys could have some ideas or constructive stuff for us. So I've never used one of these, so I'm sorry if I don't do it right. Okay, so our mission statement is volunteers committed to connecting our community to the natural spaces around us through creating opportunities that inspire active lifestyles and promote health, community, and stewardship. So as most of you know, here in Whittier, we are all together all the time. So a lot of what goes into Parks and Rec is not just building trails or some of the things that you would typically see in other communities. It also involves like mental and physical health and a lot of education, and also just thinking of ways that we can all remain together but also be outside. And because it is easy, especially when the weather's terrible and we're all living together, that people can just stay inside. And some folks do stay inside for a long time. Okay, so the city actually established the Whittier Parks and Recreation Committee in 2016, and we're a little bit different from the other groups in town like council or ports and harbor or planning and zoning, because we are just a commission, not a committee. So we're not elected, and we're strictly volunteers. So we typically have like about 4 people at our monthly meetings, and then other community members will come in if they want to bring us a specific idea or something that they want to see. And then throughout town, when we do like actual events, cleanups, things like that, some trail work, we have about 10 to 12 people solid that come out. Okay, sorry. There. All right. So since we are, I say just volunteers, we're very busy, but since we are volunteers, we get to focus on a variety of things that maybe someone else that would have to go through the proper channels would have to do. So we get to do a lot of different things, and I'm just going to go over some of these projects really quick. And obviously a huge part is trail work and maintenance. I don't know if you guys have been on Horsetail Falls Trail or the Connector Creekside Trail that we're building, but we've had a ton of volunteer hours put into these trails, especially the last few years. So we partner, because we are so small, it can take a very long time to further a trail. So we do partner with Alaska Trails. They've been awesome. Overland Adventures, which is teen and youth groups that come up in the summer with leaders. And then also the American Hiking Society. This summer will be our second summer with American Hiking Society, and it's awesome. Like, they actually pay for the program, so they pay to come up here and hang out with us and work on the trail, and then we also get to show them around our community, and they get to do some fun stuff too. But that helps us kind of get like large sections or like swaths of a trail done in like a week, as opposed to just a couple of us working on it a couple hours at a time. So we do have Lots of cleanups here, just because we have, the beach, stuff washes up with the tide, and then, we also have different user groups coming and going a lot. So typically when the snow starts to melt, we do Whittier Cleanup Week, which is actually this week. So we leave Alpar bags, these yellow trash bags that are actually up front here, at the school, the city, and in both condo buildings, and then people have access, the teachers, people that are working, community members have access to them and can go and pick up, whenever works for them. And then it always ends with the Head of the Bay cleanup, which is going to be this Saturday at the Head of the Bay. And any chance I can sneak my dog into something, I will. So, also cookout culture is huge here. So we do a cookout for the volunteers after every cleanup. More outdoor incentives. Whittier gets really crazy snow and weather, as most of you probably know. So we were trying to come up the last couple years of ways that we could get people outside quickly, easily, without too much extra planning, and also being able to factor in weather. So kind of last minute, something that we could throw together. So we started doing sledding nights. So we've got some portable battery powered large, almost like construction lights. So we'll pick a hill and groom it, and then have a bonfire and music and s'mores and stuff, and people can come out and sled or just hang around the fire and visit. Another community favorite has become the Whittier tree hunt. So we have battery powered Christmas lights, and a member of Parks and Rec on a nice evening that's not too windy will go out and pick a tree on a trail or around town. And if people go out and find it and send us a photo, then they get little small prizes, like a headlamp or a pair of gloves or a hat or something like that. And we thought maybe we would get just the usual people that walk around, in the evenings or something, but it was a huge hit. We would get 40, 50 pictures a night, which is a huge part of our community. There's only about 250 of us, so it was pretty successful. We also do winter trail grooming. Victor, who is pretty much the main Parks and Rec guy here, he built this groomer, and we were using our personal snow machines, but in the last couple years, Alaska Mining and Diving, Nick Olzenak was able to help get us a really cool sled that we can use for solely grooming. And then also in that first picture, the sunny picture, they're running wood up the mountain when there's still snow, so we didn't have to carry it. So we also did start to purchase their USB rechargeable lanterns. And so again, on another nice night, groom a trail and then go set up the lanterns. It's really pretty. People love it. And, as you know, it's dark in winter, so it kind of gets people to go outside even, when it's dark at 3 or 4 p.m. And then if conditions are right, we typically build an igloo. It's a nice spot to hang out, and it's pretty, and people like to take pictures and stuff. And we do the same thing on pretty low tide beaches. That upper left photo is of Smitty's Cove at low tide. So we actually went and set up a bunch of lights, and then people were able to come tide pool and hang out and spend some time together. So Whittier gets really icy as well, and sometimes we do skate down the street, but we were hoping, and we were able to realize getting a pop-up ice rink, which was on the basketball court in our city park this year. And we got it started, and then it was actually really cool. Our fire department and public works kind of helped us maintain it, so they'd go out and spray more water on it and kind of make it nicer. And then every night we'd stick out the lights, and it kind of became the happening place for a few weeks this January. Another thing was, we were either being asked by the public, or like someone would go hike a trail and they'd be like, oh, it's really overgrown or something like that, So obviously our to-do list was growing and growing, and we were just like, there's not enough Saturdays in the summer. So we started to do mini projects. Excuse me. So the first two pictures are of the same spot in a morning. So we met up between 5 and 6 a.m., hiked part of Horsetail, tackled like this stair section that was overgrown, and then everyone still had time to get to work at 8. So that brought out a completely different group of volunteers. That was like a lot of city workers and stuff, so that was exciting to see. And then that other picture is Victor and Ben building the sandbox that is at the city park. We also do a swim club at Smitty's. That is every Tuesday at 5:30. And the beginning of the summer, the club meetup is a lot shorter than the end of the summer when we've kind of gotten used to the water again. But from anywhere from 4 to 30 people show up. And again, just another way for us to not have to organize something really crazy or spend a lot of money or put in a lot of planning. We just say like, hey, we're all going swimming, and then people can show up. And the Wish Wash, this year will be the 3rd year. I don't know, I know some of you have been to it, but it's just a fun day. Actually now, we're already collecting cardboard. We, mostly Victor, dumpster dive in Anchorage for these big sheets of cardboard, especially at like bicycle shops. And so we end up getting a stack of cardboard about 4 or 5 feet tall, and then we buy a bunch of duct tape, and then we go around town and hound people to form teams, and then they can come and grab their cardboard and build their boat. And as you can see, like that one boat has like 6 people in it. It's pretty crazy what people come up with. And then we just do a cookout, and people can just hang out on the harbor. It's kind of nice just because most Whittier residents don't own boats, so a lot of them aren't like down at the harbor every day. So it's nice to see like the town getting out and being able to enjoy it and support some of the businesses down there too. And it's just fun to see them do it. Community garden is a big deal here because since we all do live in condos, we don't have yards or places that, we can have a garden, whether it's for flowers or vegetables or whatever. So actually a community member, Stephanie Carlson, really kind of took charge of this. She got a lot of potatoes donated. It was like a Clinkit potato. It's so the school kids now can grow potatoes and harvest them and learn how to grow their own food. And a lot of other people did the same thing. And they're adding more boxes every year, and we still have a wait list. So it's nice to see that growing too. And as far as education, we do a Whittier Wellness Week in the fall. It focuses on the 5 pillars of health. So it covers your mental health, like mindfulness, and then it also covers your physical health, like exercise, sleep, nutrition, hydration. Each day has a separate theme, and then they do a weekly bingo, and they do daily like mindfulness worksheets, and then every day we have a different community member or professional come in and speak to the kids for just about 15 minutes. We have to kind of keep it short because the Whittier School is K through 12, so you have a wide variety of attention spans, and so it's kind of difficult to come up with a program that will make them all interested, but this is kind of what we've landed on. And actually, if anybody ever wants to come and talk to the kids at the Whittier School, they have a free breakfast for the whole community, and that's kind of like when we give them any extra talk or announcements or things like that. So living in Whittier does give us some unique challenges that maybe other people don't have to face. Obviously, we have really harsh weather. Unique land ownership. Much of the town is still on lease from the railroad. That's why you don't see individual houses here and like privately owned property. And then combinations of ownership. So we do have to double check a lot of things before we start building or working or doing, or, implementing something. The tunnel time, our lives revolve around the tunnel and it closes at night. So it does kind of make it harder for if people want to come in just for a day or an afternoon or an evening, something like that. We are just a really small community, so that means that our volunteer base is really small because not every single person is like physically able or, interested in every single thing. So we usually get about a little less than 10%, which I feel like is pretty good. Staffed positions, we're a volunteer, so we all have our own, lives and families and jobs too. So the chamber and the city have been kind of discussing maybe at least just a seasonal person for Parks and Rec, a paid position. And then our funded budget, we have a super small tax base, obviously, so we are relying a lot on like grants and different programs and partnerships and things like that, and stuff is expensive. So we do have an allocated budget in the city's comp plan every year, but trail building's expensive and, everything's expensive. So our visitor and resident user groups, those all vary like crazy different from Whittier resident versus Alaska resident versus a tourist. So people are coming here to do all kinds of things, but typically they're all different depending on where you're coming from. So, what might be very, very important for a tourist. Can you hear me? Okay, awesome. So sorry about that. So what might be really important to someone that's, coming down to boat or snow machine, residents might be dealing with something that they feel is more immediate. So trying to prioritize things that will give everybody a good experience is really challenging. Safety and rescue, we have volunteer response, and we typically have, I think, 2 police officers, and then we just now, in the last couple of years, added a fire chief and an EMT. So if things go wrong or something like that, we're spread really thin, and they're also in charge of covering Girdwood as well. So they're typically in Girdwood if something were to happen. It takes a while for them to get back. And then time and energy, like I said, we're volunteers, and there is a limit to what each of us can give, even if we don't want to accept that. So, yeah, thank you. All right, then these are some of our valued partnerships. So the City of Whittier, especially the last few years, has been really instrumental in helping us realize our goals. Alaska Trails, Stewardship Foundation, American Hiking Society, KMTA, Overland, Dive Alaska, and our local businesses give us a lot of support. And then we've just seen so much more benefits in our community with, increased outdoor recreational sports, a louder resident voice and participation, people wanting to take ownership in their own community has been really awesome to see. And we're just getting to implement more projects and getting to do more fun things too. And then we just want to keep on with our goals from our mission statement of encouraging stewardship and education and having varied opportunities, so that no matter what someone is interested in or what their fitness level is or anything like that, that they'll have something to do when they come to our community. Thank you. That's all. Yeah. If anybody has any questions, comments, ideas, we're open ears. So thank you.